For any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check out g2a.com, and if you need any Ultimate Team coins, then head over to FIFA. The code CHES will get you a discount on both sites, and all links are down below. Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 26 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. Today we've got the Season 1 Roundup. We've finished our first year, and as you can see in the bottom right, and soon you'll see in bigger across your screen, we won the League 2 title in this first year at Cambridge by a narrow 2-point margin ahead of Shrewsbury, and Burton Albion will be the other side joining us in League 1. We'll find out a little bit later on who will be joining us from the playoffs out of Plymouth, Argyle, Wycombe, Oxford or York. One of those four will be joining us via the playoffs in League 1. Unfortunately for Exeter City, they finished bottom, and if it were realistic, Accrington and Exeter would both be relegated into the conference. Obviously that league is not on FIFA, so they can't be, but we'll have a quick look at some of the other leagues or not other leagues, but we'll have a look at some of the other competitions we were involved in this year to see what went down. Man United win the FA Cup 3-1 with a win over Aston Villa. United got to the final of the Capital One Cup, but lost this time around. The chance to do a domestic double, they lost 2-0 to Arsenal, so congratulations to the Gunners winning another trophy. Johnson's Paint Trophy was won by Bristol City, and the League 2 playoff was won by York, so they finished 7th. The 7th best team in the league got promoted to League 1. Not really too sure how that's fair, but still, unlucky Wycombe, Oxford and Plymouth, you will be staying in League 2 next year. Unfortunately for Chelsea, they lose the Champions League final 5-4 on penalties to Juventus, and also commiserations to Everton, who also lose the final 5-4 on penalties after a 2-2 draw with an Italian side. This time it's Fiorentina being the victor. So English teams in the finals of both European competitions, although unfortunately neither were able to come out successful. So a delightfully good season for us domestically. We'll have a quick look at the player stats to see that Kwesi Appiah came second on the all-time top goal scoring list for this season. Stuart Bevan just couldn't be caught. 31 goals in all competitions. He even outscored me when I was at Cambridge in the My Player. 31 goals in League 2. Incredible performance. So congratulations to him. As you can see down there in 10th, Tom Elliott has 14 goals for us as well. I'm not sure whether there are any other Cambridge players on this list. They're not. And when it comes to the assists, the highest player is actually Tom Elliott, and Kwesi Appiah is up there in 7th as well. They both got 8 assists this year, so clearly those two were just vital to our successes. Ryan Donaldson there in 10th as well with 7 assists, and Robbie Simpson actually up there in 16th as well. That's decent. Pleased for him as well, considering he didn't see that much first team football this year. Clean sheets should be Chris Dunn, and indeed it is 21 clean sheets this year. We were very, very good defensively. If you have a look at the goals conceded column, we have 29 goals conceded in 46 games. That is a remarkable figure, considering the amount of quality and the amount of high scoring games that there can be in League 2. So delighted to come away with the league title, and to have done it in the fashion that we did. Of course, only just beating Shrewsbury, but still we were there when it counted. Chelsea win the Barclays Premier League. That's made me particularly happy, considering they lost the Champions League. Nice to see that Chelsea were coming out on top in the BPL, beating City by a point, with Man United a further 6 behind, and then Arsenal in 4th, rather stereotypically. Could that be the way that the Barclays Premier League is going to finish this year in real life? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. We'll have a quick check to see who've got relegated. Burnley, Palace and Leicester, unfortunately. Again, could be the way that things are going to go in real life. At the top of the Championship, Norwich and Watford will come up from the Championship, and then one of Forest, City, County, Derby, Nottingham Forest, Cardiff City, Derby County and Wigan Athletic will join Watford and Norwich in the promised land of the Barclays Premier League. And I didn't mean to back out of that, because now we've got to scroll through again. I'll have a quick look at the other top leagues in Europe to see who won, and then we'll have a quick squad report to end out the episode. PSG came top in League 1. Bayern Munich. It's weird. If you see, they should have played 34 games in the Bundesliga. I'm on June the 15th right now on the calendar, so they should have finished by now, but they haven't, although they're 7 points clear with 2 games left, so they will win the title, so it will go to Bayern Munich. But that's weird. It's the same in Serie A and in La Liga as well. They've played 2 games less than they should do, but Juventus are currently top, although whether that will actually stay the way it is, or whether they'll even play the remaining 2 games, I'm not entirely too sure. But That's so very strange. FIFA does some weird things sometimes, but Juventus supposedly winning in Italy, and then we'll have a quick look at Spain to see who won. Presumably the big three will be at the top, and they are. It's Real Madrid that came out victorious, 5 points clear of Barcelona, who were a further point clear of Atleti, and then there's Sevilla there in fourth, a full 16 points behind, although Sevilla, Real Sociedad and Athletic Bilbao all finished on 66 points. It was decided by goal difference, so very, very close in Spain at the top in the Champions League spots and in the Europa League spots as well. But let's have a quick look at the squad report then to see how everybody is doing so far this season, and then we'll round it out, and then in the next episode tomorrow we'll actually start the next season and have a look at what our transfer budget is and have a look at who's about on the market, and then we'll perhaps I'll tie that into a transfer targets episode. If not, then we'll have the transfer targets episode as a sole episode standalone on Sunday, and then we'll be into the transfer window proper and the season proper for season 2 in League 1 on Monday. But let's go through the squad report then just to see how everybody did this year. So you can see Chris Dunn hasn't grown as a goalkeeper stat-wise, but has grown physically and mentally, which is strange, but still 22 clean sheets in 52 games this season. Delighted with him, although I probably will be looking for a better goalkeeper next year, although Chris Dunn will probably stay at the club and I'll look to move on Will Norris. Actually, let's do it by positions rather than by the list they were in the squad. So Will Norris is the other goalkeeper at the club. As you can see, he has grown as a goalkeeper, actually barely played. I don't think I played him, no, I only played him in pre-season, but he's still grown by 3 to 53 rated, although he's still pretty poor as a footballer. So he will be definitely moving on, and I'll try and bring in a replacement for Chris Dunn, or first team replacement for Chris Dunn, and we'll keep Chris Dunn at the club. Matteo Lanzoni was my first team right back this year. He and Richard Tate shared responsibilities because, of course, Lanzoni got injured for part of the season and also picked up a suspension as well by getting himself sent off in one of the games. But he has grown 2 to 64, so that's decent. Richard Tate has grown 2 as well, so sharing the responsibility and sharing the growth as well. Both of them getting a decent amount of clean sheets for their troubles, though, although Richard Tate got more in less games, which is quite intriguing. Michael Nelson unfortunately dropped 1 overall, but still a particularly good defender for this level of football, and 88 strength will definitely mean that he'll stay at the club and will probably be still my starting centre-back, although I may start the youngster we're bringing in on a pre-contract alongside Josh Coulson, who's grown by 4 this year. So you can see his stats are really starting to shoot up. 26 years of age, and his standing tackle and sliding tackle have both gone up by 5, and all of his physical attributes have gone up 1 as well, which is pleasing, which should mean that he can cut the mustard in League 1. We'll have to wait and see. Ian Miller wants to leave, and he's 31 years old, and I am not really too concerned at the fact that he might be leaving the club, so that's not too much of an issue for me, although I will need an extra centre-back. I do like to have 4 centre-backs in the club, so we'll get the guy in that's coming in on pre-contract, and then we'll move Ian Miller on and try and bring someone else in. When it comes to left-backs, Luke Garber has been fantastic for us this year, on loan from Everton. I will try and get him in either on loan or permanently next year as well, although judging by his value I won't be able to bring him in permanently because we're not going to have that much amount of money at the club. But 38 games played, 4 goals scored, all of which were crackers. 2 free kicks and 2 absolute screamers were the goals that he scored. 2 assists as well and 15 clean sheets. Pleased with him this year. Delighted with the way he's growing, as will Everton be actually. Greg Taylor hasn't played as much thanks to the form of Luke Garber, but still a decent player and growing, and still only 25 as well, so we'll continue to grow. And if I can't bring Luke Garber back, he'll be my starting left back to start off with, although we will look for someone a little bit higher rated for season 2. Riku Ring was the free agent we brought in at the start of season 1, and he's actually done okay, growing quite nicely. He's still only 22 years of age, could do with a few more improvements on his technical and physical attributes rather than just growing mainly in the mental, but still a decent player, has performed quite well for us. Only the 1 goal though in 37 games, but as a holding mid you don't really expect too much from that particular position. Same with Isago Diallo, 2 goals for him in 31 performances, and again not really growing too much, although his long passing has improved most notably, so perhaps he could be staying at the club. I'm not sure what to do with Diallo, I'm really not. He might be a good rotation player. Tom Champion is a very, very good player, though. He only got 1 goal and 2 assists as well, though, in 37 games, but he too is growing. Unfortunately, the physical and mental attributes have dropped a little bit because of his long-term injury, but fingers crossed they'll actually start to go back up again in the second season if he gets the decent amount of first team football, which hopefully he should do. But this is the guy that's the real exciting one. Jenkins Chikawi. He's valued at 1.6 million right now. We've only just brought him into the club. Of course, he was our Scout Future Star guy, and he has the potential to get into the low 90s. Yeah, 90s. 92 to 94 his potential was. So if we can keep him at the club, he will be a phenomenal player for us. Scored on his debut from, if you remember, in Wednesday's episode, in the league title deciding episode. So we're delighted with him. And 83 short passing now as well. His technical stats are going to be properly good. It's just one to get his physical stats a little bit better, considering he is a right mid, and I think he's the only position he can play is out wide. He can't play in the middle, or at least he doesn't say he can play in the middle, but I may play him in centre mid a couple of times if I need him to. Of course, Liam Hughes has had kind of a rotation role this year, despite the fact that he's still very happy apparently. I'm not sure what to do with him. He might be a good rotation player still though for the next year, because he is quite tall and quite physically strong, so that kind of makes up almost in FIFA terms for perhaps a lack of technical ability. Liam Hurst is a player that will go. I haven't used him at all really. 2 games and he performed terribly in both, and they were both substitution appearances I think. Ryan Horn has been out on loan this year and they've grown 2 to 49, but he will be moved on as well. On loan at Swindon, not played, not rather unsurprisingly. Harrison Dunk is a very good player though. Been pleased with him, although 3 goals and 2 assists. I felt like he played better than that. He has been heavily involved in everything that goes on with our offensive football, and he's very good as well in that left mid spot. Jack Grealish has come in and also grown, similar to Jack Garbutt, or Luke Garbutt rather, sorry, and he's improving similar to the way Luke did, growing to the higher reaches of the 60s. I will try and get Jack Grealish back if I can, or maybe we'll look somewhere else, someone that doesn't quite have such a high wage demand. What are his wages? Is there any way I can find out? I don't think so without actually going into a different menu, so we'll leave that for now. Bobby Joe Taylor is a player that I barely used this year, in fact didn't use at all. Only gone up 1, will be moved on, unless the players like Bobby Joe and Liam Hurst, etc. I will move them on if I can get replacements in. If I can't, then obviously I'm going to need bodies there to fill in case we get injuries or people's fitness waivers. But if I can replace them, then I will. Ryan Donaldson has actually had a particularly good season. 7 goals, 7 assists for the Cam, who's been playing out wide right so far this year. Up 4 from 61 to 65 and growing across the board. Delighted with Ryan Donaldson, and he hopefully will continue to grow in Season 2 as well. Luke Chadwick is starting to drop a little bit. Unfortunately, acceleration has plummeted, but still growing technically, and he has had a very good season. 4 goals, 3 assists, 8 clean sheets. He hasn't played first team football for me consistently for the entire season, because it's mainly been Tom Champion and Isago Diallo or Riku Ring, but Chadwick is still a very good player, as is Tom Elliott. 15 goals in all competitions this year, 41 games played, and the 8 assists that we saw, all of which coming in League 2. His stats are still growing very nicely as well, particularly the technical ones, and he's only 24 years of age, so he will continue to grow as well, as will Kwesi Appiah, up 3 to 67 rated, valued at 700k, but we have had bids in of upwards of £1.2 million for him, which we've turned down to this point, and I will continue to turn down, because look at those stats overall for the season. 23 goals in 44 games and 10 assists. That's contributing to a goal in almost every single game, whether it be a goal or an assist, and an average rating of 7.3 all season long is incredible. It's been so good for us, and I'm delighted that the game is glitched, because Kwesi actually is only on loan in real life from Crystal Palace and has subsequently gone back to Palace, but we've got him on a permanent, which is fantastic, because he's clearly our best striker. But Robbie Simpson actually has had a very good year. Of course, I have played him at CDM for some of it as well, because he can play in the midfield. As you can see there, striker, centre mid and right mid, so he's actually done very well, picking up 10 goals and 6 assists in the games that he's played this year. Delighted with his rotation position in the squad. Chuba Apom came in, unfortunately got injured and broke his ankle, was out for 3 months, but scored 2 goals in the 6 games that he played in the league, although both of them came in the same game if I recall correctly. Beavis went out to Dagenham, played 3 games, didn't score any, and he will be moved on if I can get a replacement. And that is our small squad report completed. We don't have the biggest of squads, but hopefully we'll be able to move some people on, replace some people, and fingers crossed we'll be able to build a competitive squad for League 1. I'm not sure how we'll get on second year. I'm really not. I'm looking forward to the challenge of League One. Let me know in the comment section down below where you think will come in League One next year as kind of a prediction for how you think we'll do. Let's see who's coming down from the Championship into our league. Birmingham, Rotherham and Brentford will join us in League One from the Championship, and we'll be losing Sheffield United, Bristol City and then one of Barnsley, MK Dons, Leyton Orient or Doncaster. We won't be playing Crewe, Swindon, Crawley or Rochdale as they'll get relegated into League 2, but the rest of the teams there we will be playing, and we have picked up victories against Fleetwood Town and against Bristol City and against Barnsley this year in various different cup competitions, so confident that we can hold our own in League One, considering all of those teams that we've played so far this year holding their own in the top half of the table. So we should be okay. We should avoid relegation, and obviously the target will be to continue go up through the leagues. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, it will be ourselves, Shrewsbury and York going up from League 2. So that's going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Check the channel page for anything you may have missed over the past few days, whether it's this series, whether it's the My Player series, or the Liverpool Career Mode series, which will of course come to you earlier on this afternoon. I may be streaming tonight, I might not be. If you want to know whether I am or not, follow me on Twitch and follow me on Twitter, and then you'll be able to stay bang up to date with everything that goes on with me and the channel, both here on YouTube and on Twitch as well. But for now, that is going to bring today's episodes to a close. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.